So they say that they say that pictures are worth thousands of words, right? One picture's worth 1,000 words. Um, there are some people who learn differently. Well, everyone learns differently, right? So some people learn kinesthetically and visually, and some are auditory, um, visual folks. Uh, I like, for some reason, images. Now, you see ancient images. You'll have depictions of people with horns coming out of their head and people with halos around their heads. Um, Typically, folks tend to think of the ones with the horns as being evil, therefore demons, and the others being uh, holy, therefore good. Uh, it's more of a depiction of a set of methodologies for maneuvering through conditions in the environment when it comes to other human beings. When someone is depicted as having horns, it's the idea of leadership. It's the idea of weaponizing what you have, your intellectual, your cognitive powers, weaponizing what you know and using what you know to forge ahead. Just like an animal who has horns or antlers will use those horns to attack head on anything that uh, is presenting a problem to it so as to clear the path. It will use those horns and gauge that problem and hurl it out of the way. Horns on the head, people depict them as demons. I consider them demons, devils, whatever. It's the idea of weaponizing what you know so that the problem presented can be dealt with effectively, straight on, which is fine. And then there are others who are depicted with halos. Saints, right? Good people, what have you. This is another methodology of thinking that says that what you do is you radiate out, you disseminate out ideas. So, what you're trying to do is you're not attempting to convert anyone to anything. All you're doing is putting your ideas out there, you're engaging with people, and every now and then you might drop a little idea. And if a person is agreeable to that idea, then you have a recognition that they have a sense of sight that is somewhere in the direction that you may be heading. Now, maybe it's just a transient connection. Maybe they just kind of agree with you on this one thing, but they move on in different direction in their lives. So the idea is you interact with people, and you always try to interact on the idea, on the level of idea, not not so much dealing with the transactional, not so much dealing with. That's why the head, right? The horns on the head, the halo on the head. You're not dealing with anything that's physically so much transactional. That's not the emphasis. The emphasis is in the realm of the mind. And so with the halo, the idea is being conveyed that you try to get people to see even just a little bit of what you see. If you can share a little bit of what you see, not everything, but if you can spread your ideas enough where people can go, oh, I see where he's coming from. Okay. You don't have to do anything. Now, those people see kind of what you see, and they're in agreement with you. And so you could say you have a level of influence, but the influence is a secondary, tertiary thing. That's not even really the point. The point is that you have others who see kind of what you see. And so they are now more open to rendering you assistance should you need assistance in life. And if they recognize you and you're able to render assistance, vice versa, you can do the same thing. Someone who sees you and goes, oh, I recognize you. I know who you are. Would you be able to help me or point me in the direction of help? Right? Because just because you're an influential person doesn't mean you have to pull out of your pocket. But you're a connecting influence. So you're able to, that's why the circle, that's why the halo, because you're a connecting influence at that point. You would be able to help people connect with each other, or you can help directly. And so that spreads your influence into a degree where, as long as you are receptive to the influence of others, meaning that you are also interested in making sure that they do well, then they also will ensure, have a desire to ensure that you do well. So it's kind of like a positive feedback loop. Rather than weaponizing ideas to forge ahead to get what you want for yourself, you can influence and just drop seeds of, I wanted to say wisdom, but that's not exactly a good word. Perspective. Just letting people in to a little bit of what you see, getting them to understand the idea that you have, and not in terms of the idea itself, but like in the direction. Why do you see, oh, there is something in that direction of life. There is a need here. There is a problem here, and maybe I'm experiencing that problem, and oh my goodness, here's someone talking about that thing, right? So you extend your influence out, and that's communicating with people on a higher plane, right? So to that degree, the halo is superior to the horn, and that tends to be why you see the so-called saint on the top and the demon on the bottom. Okay, it's that idea of the thought process. In the first, with the horns, the idea is to get what I need for myself and forge through whatever obstacle needs to be forged through. Catch it, move it out the way. Boom, 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 go. That'll get you what you need. And sometimes that is an unnecessary um, way of doing things. But overall, the more bang for the buck comes from the halo, comes from disseminating idea, perspective, asking questions, being open to interaction and to an exchange of perceptions. That allows for engagement, it allows for collaboration, it allows for cooperation, it allows for production on a level far beyond what we're capable of today. That's why saints are saints and demons are demons.